Hello, welcome to Jason Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking here in my basement in the great state of Kansas, and I'm getting back to talking about my 100 favorite albums of all time. This time, I am in my top 15 favorite albums, and I'm going to go 15 through 11 on the list. We're getting almost to my top 10 revamped list here, and yeah, some of these were in my top 10 last time. They are out of my top 10. I have some new top 10s actually this time around, so I'll be interested to see what all barely missed out in my top 10 here on Jason, the Old Millennial. Hello, I hope everybody's doing well here on, see, what are we on? Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. All right. So getting to the end of the week here. And yeah, I've been meaning to get back to this list. I keep wanting to do it, but then there's other things that come along that I want to do, and I push it back anyway. So I really want to get this list done as soon as possible, but so many things I'm doing. So yeah, let's get to number 15, my 15th favorite album, and that is Strict Joy by The Swell Season. This is their second album. Their first album is called The Swell Season by Glenn Hansard and Markéta Glova, which are the two singers here. So it's an album with these two. And this is their second album they made, because they made the first album right at the time they made the movie Once. And that's kind of where they got together. And they made that movie Once and a lot of that music. And I have the soundtrack, and I have The Swell Season, the first album as well. And they just posted a single recently. So they have two singles out just recently in the last year. Just recently I found out they had a second one. Both really good. So I'm like, man, they're working on some songs right now. They're putting out some songs. Man, I hope they put out a third album, because I'd love to see another album by the two. And another news, I am going to go see them in concert September 10th here in Kansas City. I bought a ticket already, way in advance. I couldn't miss it. This has been like a bucket list of mine. I absolutely love this group. This duo. Love the movie Once. Their two albums are absolutely amazing. I love their overall sound. It's got kind of a folk sound, folk rock sound. I say mostly, it's kind of got a folk duo sound. The two voices sound so good. I mean, it's one of those, I love a good duet, and I love a lot of the duets that they do on these albums. So yeah, man, I never thought I'd see them in concert, and then they're coming back and doing it, because they did the first album when they were making the movie, and after they made the movie, they started dating, which is funny because they weren't quite a couple, but they're kind of like almost like a couple in the movie, and they started dating in real life. So it's like one of those things where art, or life reflects art kind of thing, and they started dating in real life, and then they were making this album, and then they broke up while making this album. The relationship didn't last. I think they were touring a lot at this time. And I think felt like the touring was being very stressful on Markéta Glova. Glenn Hansard, he had been in a band called, I think, The Frames in Ireland. He's been in this band for a long time, so he was used to touring and all this. I think she was kind of new to it. And there's a documentary actually made called The Swell Season, I've seen as well, about kind of their breakup and making this album and everything, and touring and all that. And so that was kind of interesting to see that, yeah, she wasn't quite ready. She's a bit younger than him at the time. She was like in her 20s, and he was like maybe getting to his 40s. I mean, there was at least a 15-year gap between the two, or there is anyways. But they recently have reunited and have done some tours together, which is so awesome, because I really would love to see them in concert. And yeah, I am so excited to see them on September 10th. I can't believe I get to see them in concert. I think they're so awesome. But yeah, this album, of course, this came out in 2009, I believe. And yeah, absolutely love this album. This was number 11, I think, last time I did my 100 favorite albums. So it went down to 15, but I mean, obviously 10 out of 10 album. It's just, everything's so good on this album. There's no big hit necessarily on here, of course, but In These Arms is a very catchy song. I think it's one of their catchier songs in here. Great, again, harmonies are just amazing. Feeling the Pull is pretty upbeat as well. Fancy Man is more of a Markéta Glova song. It's really good. She plays piano. Glenn plays guitar. But yeah, Paper Cup. I love Paper Cup. It's kind of slow moving, but musically I just love it. And I love the voices and the melodies. It's all so good. I Have Loved You Wrong, another Mercado Glover song, really good. Two Tongues is my favorite song on here. I think that's an absolutely amazing song, one of my favorites from them. Um, it's yeah, the singing together just sound so good together on that song, and I think the guitar work and bass work was really good on the song. Anyways, now what more can I say? It's just definitely one of those groups that most people probably don't know about unless you're big on the movie once when it came out. If you don't know, man, this is one of those albums you got to check out. It is so good, and here's hoping they get a third album at some point. Number 14. Let's see. We got an album from my favorite band, and that is Let It Be. Their final album that came out in 1970. Got them to get a little bit older here now. All got longer hair and the facial hair and all that. And this was, of course, they first started this in 1969. Tried to make they also made a documentary about their making the album and writing the songs together. George Harrison, right there, quit during the whole thing, and so then they had to get him to come back, and then it didn't end up the way they wanted it to be. But there's a lot of infighting, kind of a mess. But man, this album is so good. Some of my favorite Beatles songs are coming off this album. That's why I had to put it this high. I feel like this doesn't get a lot of love. I feel like this is somewhat of an underrated album. I feel like amongst the Beatles albums, people don't put this very high on the list. I put it pretty high. It's one of my favorite Beatles albums, to be honest. But man, yeah, Two of Us, beginning the album, what a great duet from John and Paul. Kind of last duet about here they grew up together kind of as teenagers and started this band basically and were writing partners and all this time. And just what a cool song called Two of Us. And they're both singing together. It's so good. Dig a Pony, I think, is actually a very underrated song. I actually quite like it. It has some really good guitar work on there. Uh, yeah, it's a good John song. It's again a hidden gem on here. Cross the Universe, another great John Lennon song. Um, don't really understand the lyrics, but don't care. Just a really catchy and song with a great melody and great. I love the Kiss guitar at the beginning; it's so good. "I'm Your Mind's a really good George Harrison song. I really have grown on that song. It wasn't always a favorite of mine, but the more I've listened to it, the more I'm like, man, I love the style of the song. It's so cool and musically and everything. You do get these two stupid songs, Dig It and Maggie May. They're just throwaway songs. I admit. I know a lot of people probably rank this low just because those two songs are on there. Uh, they're not great, but they're kind of like almost improvised songs. Like they did a lot of improvisation, while rehearsing. And I feel like this is like one of the songs they just kind of made up on the spot. And for every reason, they put it on the album, I guess, to give it some atmosphere. Like they want to make it sound like this was like almost like a live album that they were just making on the spot, kind of thing. But they're only a minute long, so it doesn't take too much out of the album. Then you got Let It Be. I mean, one of my favorite songs of all time. My second favorite Beatles songs of all time. One of the most beautiful melodies ever written. One of my favorite Paul McCartney songs. I mean, just every time I hear that piano, it's just like, oh my gosh. You just know it's just going to be one of the most amazing songs. Just that bum, 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 bum. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. Paul just sings so good on it. And it's just one of the most beautiful melodies and piano playing I've ever heard. Yeah, it doesn't, every time I hear it, it still amazes me. I'm just like, oh my gosh. It just like soothes me. It just, some of the best arranged music and lyrics I've ever heard. And why I love Paul McCartney so much, why he's my favorite Beatle, and I love his solo work as well. But yeah, this is the last album and he went out with a bang with this one, Let It Be. Then on the second side, I've Got a Feeling, another pretty good song by Paul. The worst song on the album is One After 909. Yeah, that's a terrible song. I wish that wasn't on here, but whatever. Then you get The Long and Winding Road. This is another top 10 Beatles song for me, and another one of the most beautiful songs. And I really love the orchestra in here. A lot of people don't like what what's his name, Phil Spector put in here. And a lot of people I've heard hate the song because of all the orchestra and stuff. I love the orchestra. I think it's beautiful orchestra. It adds a lot to the song. I don't know. I love what Phil Spector did to the album. A lot of people don't like it, but I'm like, yeah, I thought it sounded great. So I might be the more minority on that. I don't get what all the hate is, but yeah, man, that's a beautiful song. Again, the piano playing so good, and even just the songwriting, just kind of the imagery that it paints. Life is like a long and winding road. It's a very difficult life. You got through all these winds and stuff, but at the end, I come to your door, and it's all. It kind of comes to, it's like almost like a love song, like, but it's like, oh, okay, if I reach your door and I'm with you, kind of thing. So it's very sweet at the end, but oh my gosh, musically, one of the most beautiful songs ever written. I love it. Long and Winding Road. For Your Blue is another pretty good George Harrison song, kind of one of his more underrated songs. And then you end with Get Back. Get Back is a very good kind of rocker, kind of old school rocker kind of song, but the guitar work is so good. And John Lennon has some really good guitar stuff in here. And it's a fun song, very upbeat. Should have been maybe almost the opener. I don't know why it's a closer, but still, Let It Be, like I said, there's so many amazing songs on here. That's why it's so high on my list here at number 14. So number 13, we're going to go with another artist. It's one of my favorite artists. And this is John Denver's Poems, Prayers, and Promises album. Which I think came out around 71. Yeah, 1971. 71, like I said, it's Grace Hero Music. And here's another great album. This was in my top 10 favorite albums last time. So it went out of my top 10 because there's a couple albums that I just had to put in my top 10 this time around. I was like, they're too good, not put in there. And so this one, it's number 13 though. It's just right out the top 10, but still my favorite John Denver album. Absolutely love it. The title song, Poems, Prayers, and Promises. Yeah, one of my favorite John Denver songs. Some just great songwriting about sitting around a campfire and kind of thinking about life. It's great. Just a wonderful song. He does a good cover of Let It Be. I just talked about the album Let It Be. He does a cover of Let It Be on here. It's a good cover. I like the cover of it. My Sweet Lady, really, really nice song as well. Junk, a really good cover of Paul McCartney song from his debut album. Really good there. Take Me Home Country Roads, I mean, another top 10 like John Denver song. I mean, this is one of the probably his most well-known songs of all time for good reason. It's played all the time on the radio. Definitely a staple of his. And yeah, it's a great song. Just about going home. And I love it because I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in a small town, so I'm kind of, it was around the country, what you call like, outside the city, and so I kind of, like this type of music of being out in the country and camping, and hiking. I don't have any mountains. I would love to have mountains to hike into. We don't have any in Kansas, but I just love the imagery that he paints in his songs about being kind of in the Midwest area, and yeah, I love it because I love being in the Midwest. That's where I'm from. So that's one of the songs that just makes me, nostalgia for, home life. I guess I'd rather be in Colorado. Another really great song on here. Sunshine on My Shoulders, my favorite John Denver song. So I mean, that's why this album's so good. I mean, you got Poems, Prayers, and Promises, Take Me Home Country Roads, and Sunshine on My Shoulders. Like I said, 3 top 10 John Denver songs on this album, and it's just some of the greatest songs ever. Sunshine on My Shoulders, so beautiful. The sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. I mean, it's just a wonderful, nice song that just, again, it's very soothing. You just feel so good about life when you hear the song. Just go, oh yeah, sunshine is great, and that feeling of, having sunshine and being outside. Again, it kind of paints that picture of being outside in the sun and how wonderful it feels, the warm sun on you. And it's just a very positive, like uplifting song, I guess, to me. I love it. Sunshine on My Shoulders. He does another really good cover of Fire and Rain, of course, James Taylor. I wouldn't say it's as good as James Taylor, but still a very good cover. And the only big problem with this album is the last song. It's not really a song. It's called The Box. It's just a poem. He reads out this poem at the end, and that's how he closes the album. It's a terrible closer. That's why I probably took it out of the top 10, because I wish he wouldn't put The Box in here. It kind of sucks. But like I said, three absolutely amazing songs on here. And the three covers are really good. That's why I had to put it really high on my list and why it's my favorite John Denver album. So it's here at number 13. All right, number 12, we're going with my favorite Simon and Garfunkel album, Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Yeah, this also came out in 1970. Sometimes Let It Be. So both of those are in my top albums from that year, pretty much coming out. And yeah, this is their grand finale. Only 5 albums. It's their 5th album. It's their greatest album, which is crazy that you end on your best album, then you break up as a group. It's like, man, I would love to get more Simon Garfunkel albums because they were really on a real high at this point. I mean, there are just so many amazing songs coming out of here, you know. This was in my top 10 actually last time, my last list. This was my top 10. It kind of went out. And I guess I'll say because the last couple songs I don't really like that much, unfortunately. I still give it a 10 out of 10. I still think it's, yes, again, it's number 12 on my list. It's one of the greatest albums. And I'm a huge Simon Garfunkel fan. They're my favorite duo of all time. I love all 5 albums. I think are actually really good albums. And just their voices sound so good together. And Paul Simon's one of the greatest songwriters. So, I mean, it's just perfect duo. I mean, you start with Bridge Over Troubled Water, probably the most beautiful song they've ever Paul Simon's ever written. And also probably the best vocals Garfunkel ever sang. I love Garfunkel's voice. He has an amazing tenor voice, just beautiful. This is just a beautiful medley. And it's very, again, another uplifting song. Like you're going through troubled times, you're a bridge over, you know, troubled waters, you're having a hard life, and him being a bridge over that troubled waters to get through the life. I especially love that kind of bridge part of the sail away, silver girl, sail on high. Oh, that is such a good moment. It's such a beautiful, the piano is beautiful. This is obviously, this one, by the way, this won Album of the Year in 1970 and won Song of the Year for Bridge Over Troubled Water. So, I mean, absolutely really huge hit for them overall. But yeah, great. El Conde Pasa, If I Could, really good song as well. Yeah, I really like that song. Cecilia, love Cecilia. Another like top 10 Simon Garfunkel song. It's so fun, so fast paced, and it's so fun to sing to. And it's short. And it's just Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. And just the beat is so good, and the lyrics are kind of fun, and so many cool musical instruments. It's such a good song, Cecilia. Keep the Customer Satisfied. This is one of the greatest deep cuts I've ever found on an album, where I never knew the song, and I was listening to the album, and I was like, wow, this song is so catchy. It is so good, and this isn't even one of their big hits. And they have a number of big hits on here, but this is one of my favorite songs on the album. It's not a big hit. So Long, Frank Lloyd Wright. I really like that song. It's a really nice kind of acoustic ballad. Lloyd Wright is like, I believe, an architect. It's really beautiful. I actually really like that one. And then you get to my favorite song on the album, one of my favorite Simon Garfunkel songs, The Boxer. The Boxer, amazing. La la la, koosh, la 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 la. Just them singing La 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 is so good. But again, I love the storytelling. It's like telling the story of this guy. He's a boxer, but he's having trouble. And he's, you know, struggling to make ends meet being a boxer. And then, you know, he's in the ring and then he gets hit and he feels every hit. And it's just great lyrically, great, just amazing, again, storytelling, and just vocally, just so good. The melody is so good. Yeah, I absolutely love the song. It's, again, one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm just down to The Only Living Boy in New York, another absolutely amazing deep cut on here. Only Living Boy in New York. Oh, it's so good. It's like, it's not even, how is this not even a big hit? It's so good. And then the last 3 are, I think, the weakest, unfortunately. Why Don't You Write Me, Bye Bye Love, and Song for the Asking. Yeah, definitely, that's why it's not in my top 10 anymore, because like, I'm not a big fan of those 3 songs. But those first 8 are so good. It's good enough. It gets into my number 12 spot. All right, last album I'm going to talk about at number 11. We're going back to the Beatles, and we're going with Magical Mystery Tour. Yeah, again, I feel like this may be somewhat underrated. I don't feel like people put it this high on their list as I do. But being a massive Beatles fan, this album is so good. It was my favorite album of 1967, actually, when we did our top 10 albums in 1967. So yeah, I liked, yeah, even better than Sgt. Pepper's. But what's so cool about it, of course, you have the first side is the movie, and there's some great stuff here. I mean, Magical Mystery Tour, the opener, love it. Really great opener. Very catchy, very upbeat. Then you got Fool in the Hill. Fool in the Hill is one of my favorite Beatles songs. One of my favorite from Paul McCartney. Again, I love the storytelling of this fool. You know, everybody sees this guy on the hill and he thinks he's a fool. And it's just a great kind of almost ballad type song of, and I love the flute. It's so good in here. Musically, it's just amazing. And then at the end, the fool looks down at everybody and says, "They're the fool." It's so good. Now there is two weak songs on here, Blue Jay Way. And the reason why people don't like this album as much is because of Flying and Blue Jay Way, which I'll agree, they are definitely the weaker songs on the album by far. Yeah, they're not good songs. But they don't ruin the album for me. Again, it's a number 11. It's a 10 out of 10 album. Just because everything else is so great on this album, it's like I can forgive those two songs. Because you go right into, Your Mother Should Know, I actually like. It's a decent song. And then I Am the Walrus. Absolutely amazing. One of the greatest psychedelic songs of all time. Lyrically, it's nonsensical, but I love the orchestra. Orchestra music is so good here. Love it, love it. And then what really makes this so good is side 2 is all of their singles. And we got two of my favorite songs of all time here with Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields Forever. Man, they're my top 15 favorite Beatles songs. They're just absolutely amazing. Musically, lyrically, it's just some of the most amazing songs they ever did. One's a John song, one's a Paul song. But yeah, Penny Lane's actually my favorite song on the album. I absolutely love that. That's my 14th favorite song from the Beatles. And yeah, I just love the picture it paints of this town, this, neighborhood or something. And the horns are so, oh my gosh, the horns are so good. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. Da, 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 da. Like, oh, so good. Then you got Hello Goodbye, a really great song. And Baby You're a Rich Man, great under Hidden Gem. And then you close in with All You Need Is Love. Another absolutely great closer. Another huge hit for them. One of their most iconic songs ever. Yeah, there's just too many great songs on this album. I'm surprised it's not higher on people's lists. I mean, you got Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields Forever. I mean, come on. How can you not have this high on your list? So that's my number 11. That's the last one I'll talk about. And so thank you for watching this and liking the video and coming on this journey with me as I talk my favorite albums. I appreciate everybody that's watching this, and I appreciate all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I couldn't do it without you, and I hope you have a great